here is where the drama starts. Lap 30, 8 laps to go. Sandobi hoping to take advantage of these lapped cars. Pilecki dives onto the right side. Very aggressive here. This is lap 4. The two Viceroys, Bill Frazier ahead of Matt Pilecki. Frazier's off. Frazier hit the grass. You hit that tire wall, your day is done. You know, it's lap 20. The Williams still trying to get around the Terrell team as he'll go around the lap car and around Mills at the same time. At the same time, he's got the inside corner. Will he ride the curb? Yes, he will. He will get him on the inside. Nuno Maria leading us all into Moss's corner. The beauty as his right side will clip the grass. Oh, a 180, no, a 360. Oh. Who will yield going into this corner? It's really not meant for too wide as it will be Gernot. Gernot will yield. Lots of smoke picking up from that Williams car. He is pushing it to the absolute limit. 26 of 30 now. Only 4 laps to go. He's going to get the run coming out the final corner. He's going to pull up side by side with the leader. It's going to be a drag race to the finish. Who is going to get there first? It's going to be...
The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and he missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Brand new circuits are all well and nice, but how about one with history? I like myself a good challenging historic track, one that always brings the best out of drivers, and so today, the Nürburgring will play host to the 5th round of the CTC Lotus 79 series here on the global Sim Racing channel. Hello everyone, I am back again after my unfortunate absence from Snetterton because I am #DoYouMindJakeSperry here to observe the action today, joined as ever by my good man to my right, Sean Crackers Ambrose. Jed Yamin will be on camera duty for this afternoon as the legendary Dougie the Beard has provided cameras. Sean, the Nürburgring is always a classic to behold, although we are playing the Grand Prix layout instead of the full Nordschleife. How will the modern nature of the Nürburgring challenge the unsuspecting today?
Guten Tag, Rennen fans. Yes, Jake, boy, I'll tell you what, so glad to be here in Germany today for this great race. Originally a 12-turn, 4.5-kilometer circuit, the new track was revamped in 2002 with the replacement of that Castrol chicane by the hog hook right-hander and subsequent Omega-shaped Mercedes Arena turn, bringing the circuit to its current 16-turn, 5.1-kilometer layout. Now, along with the parabolic Dunlop curve and the track signature section, the Michael Schumacher S forms by turns 9 and 10 that you see there on screen. The track continues to host rounds of the German Touring Car Championship, the Blancpain GT and Endurance Series, World Endurance Championship, and in combination with the remaining 12.9 miles of the Nordschleife, the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. Of course, one that you see here on iRacing every year, one of the special events. Now, while many traditionalists refuse to accept the new track, clinging to a nostalgic past not likely to return, let's let you draw your own conclusions as we take a lap around the modern Nürburgring's Grand Prix circuit.
All right, we've got Johan Orlampi in the GSRC Lotus 79, so let's do a lap around the Nürburgring. Coming down the front stretch, you've got a great passing opportunity coming up with Haug Hook. It can be a little tricky though, both because of the kink in the braking zone and the sharpness of the apex, which can cause you to lose sight of where the other car is. There's not much time to think afterwards because we're now into the newer Mercedes Arena. These are slow and technical corners, so this will mostly be a single file section of track. Plus, the Lotus isn't a fan of low speed corners, so be very careful with the throttle since it'll be easy to loop the car while trying to get the power down. Once you're safely out of there, you've got a bit of a stretch down to turn 6. This corner is deceptively fast, and yet you'll want to hug the inside on the exit so that you set yourself up better for the forward curve. Being able to get on the gas early will be important since the track now plunges downhill towards the Dunlop hairpin. It seems like it should be easy to attempt passes into here, but they wind up being pretty difficult to execute. The banking certainly allows a lot of speed to be carried. Just be sure not to get the wheels off into the gravel on the outside so that you can get a good launch out of it. Drift it across the track, and that takes us into the Schumacher S. A little breathe on the throttle should get you through, then once again bring it across the track. If you can withstand the dirty air on the lead-up, passes can be possible into turn 11, but as soon as you're out of the corner, you've got to get ready for the Bilstein curve. This medium speed bend is extremely important to the lap. Failing to get a decent exit off of here will put you in a disadvantage on the run-up to the Vidal chicane. Expect the draft to give an opportunity to the car behind to close up on you. Try to straighten out the kink on the backstretch as best you can, and then heads up for this last chicane. This is the quicker version compared to the GP course, so you won't be doing as much braking, and you won't want to try to go into here side by side. The final hairpin comes up fast, and there usually isn't much in the way of chances to pass into here. It's more about getting a run off the corner to set yourself up into turn 1. But hopefully, you've now finished a lap around the Nürburgring.
Well, there you see the Lotus 79, the GSRC Lotus 79 taking a lap around a very treacherous circuit at times. And well, with 27 drivers here today taking it to the starting field, well, Sean, it's about time that we look at the standings and the series details and what we have. Of course, there are drops, 4 drops for drivers, 2 for teams. That's something very crucial that has to be put in mind for the CTC Championship, so that even though drivers miss rounds, they have an opportunity still to fight for the title. 24 laps here today in terms of a race distance. It's always going to be very interesting to see how quick they go. Open setups, no stops for fuel, official iRacing points for the Drivers' Championship. And talking of that Drivers' Championship, there is even more change at the top of that standings because no Nuno Moreira last week. So in terms of overall points, Juha Noralampi holds the advantage. Ruakola second, Bycroft and Fabian Gerber move up third and fourth. But the points gaps, though, Sean, are staggering. How do you overcome such a large deficit at this early stage?
Wins, baby. It's all about the wins. That's how you overcome it. Wins and consistency, and yeah, well, you need to show up. Now, of course, we'll get the drop weeks will start to figure in here a little bit later, but like I said, it's all about wins, and Nuno Moreira is certainly capable of that.
Yes, certainly is very capable of getting a win or 2 under the belt. So let's talk about the Constructors' Championship right now. Fittipaldi Automotive holding on to the championship constructors-wise by just 7 whole points. They run a different system, so 116 points for Fittipaldi, with Ligier second and Albilad Williams in third position. But the top 5 split by just 28 points now, Sean. Battle still to be fought over, I assume.
Oh yeah, there's you look at the drivers in that Noralampi, Bycroft, Ruakola, Dobie, Dalton, Pablo Simpkins. I mean, there's just a lot of great drivers there in the top 5 itself. And guess what? There's a lot of great drivers just behind them a little further down in the points. So lots of fighting still to happen here in what is going to be a long season. Yeah, we're getting close to the halfway point, but that being said, still a lot of great tracks on the schedule to get to that will play to some drivers' advantage and some drivers' disadvantage, to be frank.
Exactly, and that's something very interesting to look at. Gerd Hoferer up into position number 3 as he crosses the line in the 4 machine. Great lap from him, and Moreira's going to back out of his second lap that he's got. 2 minutes left in qualifying. Jonas Puheka oddly down the order in 9th, and this is such a tight field. It's not often we talk about Gernot Friche, who's here for what is one of the first times this season in the number 1 machine in 4th position. So Puheka needs to do more in that McLaren as he rounds the final corner, makes that charge to the line, and the answer as he comes across said line, well, 43.5, it's a good enough for the 3rd row. And
Jonas Puheka completes his second one, and that's 5th for him, so good stuff. That's a 143.5. Looks like 142, though, is the mark that you want to be at. Juha Noralampi there with a 142.7. Sergio Macias there with a 142.6.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, well, those sort of lap times, that's the sort of level you need to get to. Darrell Henry across the line, 48.8, 23rd then at the moment. Some drivers still haven't set the lap times. John Keefe, the 20, is certainly one of those drivers in that machine right now. He'll make his charge line. He won't get a second lap in, but it's a 49.8, which puts him down at the bottom of the pile. Pablo Lumbreras in the 10. Expect something out of him when he crosses the line. 44.7, that's a lot better. P13 out on circuit, but that 7th row, it's going to be a nightmare from around there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of traffic. You know, the scramble down into turn 1, down into Yokohama S when we get this race started from that standing start. That is probably the least favorite spot I want to be in, is like somewhere right in the middle of the field.
Exactly, and with qualifying coming towards end, no one's going to be able to finish their lap times from here on in. This is how our field will look. Sergio Macias then, he seems all-conquering at the moment, 142.659, 10th and a half clear of Juha Noralampi in second position. Gerd Hofera will start from third, and Jerno Fritche back, Mr. 9K I-rating in fourth. Ocean Puheka in fifth position with Michel Vandenberg sixth, seventh for Timu Toika, and Nuno Moreira down the order in eighth with work to do. Matt Wood will start ninth with Steve Bycroft 10th here, Sean.
All right, 11th's going to be Lear Hughes, and 12th, John Stevens there, row 6. Row 7, Pablo Suarez and Martin Blaze. All right, and row 8, Victor Albilan and Flavio Saturnino. In row 9, QC Clapp and Barry West. In row 10, Marco Kika and Sammy Valimaki.
And then the final 7 vehicles, Daniele Gattuso, Robert Simpkins, Steve Salis, Francisco Javier there with also Daryl Henry. And the final 2 drivers, John Keefe in 26th and Thierry van der Hagen in 27th position. Overall, 2 minutes to grid up. Otherwise, you start from the place that nobody likes to start when it comes to racing, and that is pit road, and that can always be a nightmare when you go through. Worth noting, outside line for the drivers in the odd position grid slots. It means it's going to be an advantage to sling one down to the inside at Yokohama, turn number 1, before we head to the Mercedes-Benz Arena. And when it comes right down to it, you've got drivers wanting to make positions. Moreira, position number 8. That's certainly not what we expect from him, being 9/10 off in qualifying. Noralampi, maybe the only driver who can really bring it back to Sergio Macias, and Jerno Fritche, who will be wanting to try and get back to the form that got him so many CTC titles in the past. But I believe that's pretty much everybody then up onto the starting grid except Thierry van der Hagen. I don't think he'll be able to make the grid in the next 5 seconds or so, but it's green flags ahead, and it's get ourselves going. We're here for 24 laps at the circuit of the Nürburgring, and already defensive flying Macias into turn number 1. There's a shovel ready in towards that Yokohama corner. Gerd Hofera having to go all manners of wide and almost wheels on the grass of that section, and such he will lose the position potentially to the driver of Jerno Fritche in position number 3 now, and will lose that position overall. It's a clean start then by everyone in the field. No, it's not. Robert Simpkins running into issues, Sean.
Yeah, we had a couple of cars get a little bit banged up there at the start, a couple of wheel hops, but everybody's still under power.
Everybody's still under power in the early stages, but already it's looking like a 2-vehicle breakaway. Noralampi and Macias, the 2 vehicles looking to break away as they make the run to what I like to notice as an homage to the carousel here. This is the Dunlop hairpin, and it's 180 degrees, 2 lines you can take in. You can either diamond off that corner, Sean, or you can just take that inside apex as good as you can.
Yeah, just hug that curb, literally coming around, try and get a good run off up through the Michael Schumacher S here.
Yeah, through Schumacher S. Let's look though at Hofera. He's under pressure from Nuno Moreira, who's had a stormer of a start right now, already up to position number 5 in the Ligier, and he'll be hoping to try and get more positions then on Hofera. Good run out of Vorsteiner. The run here, Ad Van Bogen, right-hander towards NGK, the left-right, that's so crucial. Will he dive one down to the inside? He'll think about it here, but of course they're running the BES WEC chicane, so it makes overtaking a lot more difficult. And that's probably a decision there, Sean, to run that sort of chicane, because it would stop a lot of incidents from taking place.
Oh, John Stevens off right there in Coca-Cola. Just ran it out a little bit wide, got it off in the dirt, lost a couple positions there to Martin Blaze and Marco Kika.
Yeah, Marco technique is certainly there as well. GSRC replay up on screen for you. And well, running that little bit wide, he was going for that outside line, even just overcooked it into that final corner, the Coca-Cola curve. So he's got to be careful about doing that. And now you look at the train that now emerges behind John Stevens. You've got Blades, Gattuso, West, Clapp, Valamarki, Keith, Salis, Javier Gutierrez, Henry, and Simpkins all there. And this is a 10-11 car train, and there's already contact in there, and that's Barry West turned around.
Yeah, it looked like contact with QC Clapp there, and then Clapp gets contact with John Keefe just after that. It's very, very busy down there. You're going to see QC there, and the number 14 comes down below, tips him around.
Yeah, it happens like that, Sean, at times, and well, you hope that you don't get contact, but that section of circuit, you're always trying to open up turn number 4, so very unlucky in that situation. But a man going backwards is Gerd Hofer in the number 4. He's now got Ocean Puheka looking to try and make the move around in the number 3 machine, and well, Puheka certainly no stranger to a very, very fast vehicle, and well, he's looking to try and get himself back to where he started, position number 5 on circuit.
Yeah, I'm checking Jared's car for any possible damage. Got to be really careful with the curbs here, nicking up the wing of that Lotus 79. Jared struggling right now, it appears, as Ocean are really hot on his tail as they start to come up the straightaway, down across the start-finish line.
Exactly, and well, Hofer has got to be careful. Maybe a little bit of contact in that opening lap has put him backwards just a little bit, but a little too aggressive into turn number 1 there. He's got to be careful. There is a massive downhill in that section. Just behind that, Michel Vandenberg, Timu Toika, Matt Wood, all there in this scrap going on, 7th, 8th, 9th out on circuit. And Matt Wood, you know, you're expecting maybe to just start kicking forward in his career. We've seen him have front rows at Imola, for example, here, but he's just not been able to get the race pace sorted, and that's the next level of his game he's got to work on.
Indeed. Jake just scanning the field, looking through everybody and how they got started. Daniel Gattuso back here picking up spots. He's up to 17th, chasing another one in front of him, Martin Blaze, who was involved in a little bit of an incident before, working with a little bit of damage on his front wing.
Yeah, he certainly is in this situation. So Blaze in the 16 machine looking to get himself into a defensive position, but Daniele Gattuso in the 25 is making mincemeat the Italian driver. So Gattuso up into position 16 overall. He's +5 for today so far. Another driver who's +5 right now, Marco Kika in the 11 machine. He's now looking to chase down Victor Abelan in the 23. So progress being made by those drivers who didn't have the best of qualifyings.
Yeah, Abelan actually a little bit of damage on his front wing. And I mentioned that before, some of these curves really easy to pick up a little bit of wing damage on. You've got to be careful. It's a long race.
It certainly is. We have one vehicle on pit road right now. That's Flavio Saturnino, a driver that you do expect to be fighting in and around that top 10. His day is done. He is out of the event, and we will see no more of that. At the front of the field, though, Machias versus Nora Lampi. And it's not spectacular right now from Sergio Machias, but it's enough right now. 1/10 of a second every single lap here, Sean. And if he's not careful here, Nora Lampi, he'll fall outside of a second and backwards into the abyss.
Yeah, he's going to really need to find that that pace to you know, obviously to not just to catch Sergio, but to get around him. Juha goes both ways. Sometimes he gets better as the run goes on, and then sometimes maybe a little bit of fatigue will set in, and he'll make that one mistake that will lose just tremendous amount of time. So far, so good, though. I think he's doing a good job here through the first 4 laps of the race.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, but he's got to stay within that 1 second window, not for DRS, but for the draft. It's so important to stay within a certain point, otherwise you're going to see Sergio Machias just break away, as he has done so often this year. Not a part of the CTC, but driving for iRacing and safety rating. And if you were to drive in the CTC, this championship, Sean, you'd have to feel would be very one-sided at this stage.
Boy, it sure would. Hey, another good battle going on right now. It's for 11th here. Lear Hughes chasing down Pablo Suarez. These two have been working on this for a bit. Lear looking for an opportunity to get around now. They head to the chicane. He's not going to do it there. Could get him up here, though, with a good run off of Coca-Cola.
But it's going to not be a good run off for Coca-Cola. He misses the apex by a good 1.5 meters there. And, well, he's going to have to try and make his way back through. Gap between them now, 0.6 of a second between Lumbreras and Hughes right now. And, well, the Welshman on the brakes into turn number 1 won't be close enough to make those moves. And that's something that drivers are now starting to worry about, that dirty air effect. The further you get away, you know, you're starting to get different sorts of vortexes over the vehicle. It almost becomes a little bit more difficult to follow in the toes. But look at the battle just ahead of them between Toyka and Vandenberg. This one going on P8, P9 out on circuit. Matt Wood just in front of them. And Toyka having to be a little bit careful here. He's been going backwards this event, as has Michel Vandenberg. Both of them want to be making progress. And Vandenberg with a good run out of Ford.
Yeah, good run there for Vandenberg. It's Matt Wood that's really looking over his shoulder right now. Is Toyka and Vandenberg back there fighting pretty well, but not able to gain any ground here on Wood so far. Wood still seems to have the advantage right now and gets a good run there.
Certainly does on the brakes, left-hander, and now Toyka goes from offense thinking to defense thinking as Michel Vandenberg needs a good run to try and make those moves, and we're not seeing the moves that we normally do up to NGK, normally because of the fact of that tighter chicane is what we'd normally see with vehicles such as these, but it won't be the case. But eyes on Nuno Moreira right now. He is on a stormer. Gernot Friche in a scrap with him right now, and you can go back in history, Moreira and Friche. It's just a fantastic battle that always seems to crop up wherever you go, Sean.
I'm sorry, trouble out of Vidal, out of the... Oh, man. Marco Kika gets into it.
Oh, my goodness me. He's up on his roof. So
it was Avalon.
Oh, it was. And well, he got all over the curb, actually. There was nowhere Avalon could go. And that's the thing. There's anti-cut curbs in that situation, Sean. So when you have those anti-cut curbs, if you start knocking them, you're going to really unsettle the balance of that vehicle. And it just takes one vehicle to get underneath, and you are ending up in the pit of oblivion.
Yep. Indeed. And, boy, it was a pass there on that straight. And, well, he got in too hot. And Avalon, like you said, had nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. Well, look at Avalon's front wing. It is bent upwards, meaning that he will be struggling with downforce levels. Defense taken, though, by John Stevens. He's not comfortable at right now when it comes to it, but to the Schumacher S's goes Vandenberg and Toyka. This battle still going on, a couple of tenths of a second between the pair of them as they head into the right and into the left, up the hill. They head now into the left-hander of the turn number 11. Out on circuit, hoping to get this good run in through the right-hander, and it's not a good run for the driver of Michel Vandenberg. He drops back a little there in that section of circuit, and this is the thing, though, the draft helps everybody in this situation. You've got to make sure that you have yourself as good a run as possible here, Sean, to make sure the moves happen.
That's right, and it is important to have as good a run as possible. You are correct about that. Right now, Vandenberg seems to, you know, he'll get there, look to take a look in, and it's just not there. It goes away quickly, and I would say that's more to the defense that Teemu Tuukka is putting on right now.
Exactly, and it's a very good defense from Teemu Tuukka. He's just keeping his man at bay, but the fastest man over that last lap will surprise you here, Sean. It's Nuno Moreira. He was 2 tenths quicker than your race leader, Sergio Macias. He has a good turn of pace about him here today. Lap 7 out of 24, and he's looking at Gernot Friche just in front of him. 4 tenths of a second the gap. He's got to get within 2 tenths, I feel, if he wants to start thinking about making a move. And now on the power, out of Ford, over towards the right-hander of the Dunlop hairpin, and Nuno Moreira stalking his prey.
Gernot did not get the one by letting just people just pass by him. So this should be fun to watch this develop here over the next lap and a half or so.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's like a clash of 2 titans going together through the Schumacher S. And, well, a little bit tentative there with Gernot Friche. Wasn't too confident. Look how much that the driver, Moreira, closes under braking, gets tucked right underneath the nose, but will struggle through this right-hander due to dirty air effect. And now looking to get the power back down. Maybe a run up towards NGK, and Vidal will be the one that he looks for, but he takes that narrower line, defensively slightly taken by Journo Friche, who moves over into the left, into the right, back onto the power again. It's the run to 1 you've got to be careful of, though, if you're Friche.
Boy, and this battle back here between Vandenberg and Toyka has not gone away. They're still going at it, Jake, but it has allowed Matt Wood to kind of pull away just a bit. He started to gap them.
He certainly is starting to get them at right now. So Toyka and Vandenberg hoping that Wood would break away in order for the 1 second window to be opened up. No change though between Moreira and Friche, but Moreira hounding a lot closer than he was a lap ago. He thinks about it, almost contact between the pair of them in through turn number 4. It's a 90-degree right-hander, and Friche was a lot slower at that section. Moreira almost running into the rear of the Austrian driver just in front of him. So Moreira having to be careful now here, Sean.
That's okay. I'll take being mistaken for soup. Boy, great chase here. I just love watching these two go at it. Two of the very best in the series. And Moreira just does not have an answer yet, Jake. Journo is still able to hold serve here.
Exactly. It's the answer that is being looked for Moreira. It's not as if they're on a bad run of pace. They're still matching the leaders in terms of overall pace going on. But the more that Moreira applies the pressure here to Journo Friche, the more that they're going to start dropping back. Because if you start battling too much, then that probably could be a very bad warning sign between now and the end of the event. P16, though, having a very good battle. Martin Blaze against Sami Välimäki right now. Välimäki +3 for the day. Blaze going backwards.
Yeah, Blaze has struggled a little bit. Don't recall seeing him previously, but the Canadian having a decent run, but Välimäki been chasing him here for about 3 laps. Has been able to get close, just not around yet. Sammy's just going to have to try and be a little bit better here over the next couple laps.
Certainly is, and especially with the fact of the matter being Daniele Gattuso starting to pull away from this group as they head themselves into NGK once again out on circuit. The gap at the front has opened. It's now 1.4 seconds between Nora Lampi and Mashias. Mashias slightly slower, only 0.02 of a second slower though on that last lap, and I think you can say you can maintain a gap with 0.02 of a second difference.
You could certainly try. You know what, Jake, Ossian Puhaka trying to maybe make a run here at Jared Hofer. This is about as close as this battle's been in a little bit.
Certainly has been, but the difference that last lap was just 0.07 of a second between the pair of them. So Puhaka not really closing down that gap the way that he would have wanted to. It was 0.8 of a second, almost 0.9 of a second over the line, so that won't be close enough to make the move, and a slightly missed apex there from Ossian Puhaka in towards that left-hander will not be doing him any favours here, Sean.
I think I put the commentator's jinx on him there.
What are we going to do with you and your commentator's jinxes? I have to wonder. But right now, still Moreira versus Friche, and Friche now in a little bit of a bubble here. A bit of pressure being applied. Good run out to the exit there from Nuno Moreira. An instant defensive line taken then on the straight. Moved hard to the inside before slowly opening that vehicle to go back out again. And Moreira unable to follow close enough to really make that move happen on the brakes in towards Yokohama, turn number 1. And Nuno Moreira, he's got to be thinking that sometime Christmas is going to happen.
Oh, and you know what? We missed an incident. Francisco Gutierrez got into it with QC Clap.
And dear me, so it seems that the pair of them have been out of this event. So Gutierrez down onto the lanes. So that will mean that, well, replay up on screen. So we're going to take an eye out then on exactly what has happened here on GSRC replay. And, well, by the looks of things here, it's going to be a case of hope that things happen for Francisco Javier, but Lambueras not having any issues so far that we can find. We'll make sure that we try and catch that one a little bit later on, but still Moreira hopes to try and make through. Schumacher is again here, Sean, and still just struggling. There's a nature of this circuit with those 90-degree corners, the rights and lefts, that you do start to lose out a little bit. It has a slightly street circuit affair. Missed apex again, though, from Morera.
Yeah, and boy, those are really killing him. Yeah, if he could just be mistake-free, wouldn't that be perfect for all of us? He might be able to mount a charge and get around him.
No comment. No comment. But Morera right now, you know, he's had to drop back here. He's dropped back about 4 or 5 tenths of a second. That's a good thing here, Sean, because of the fact it's going to cool his tyres down a little bit more, give him another chance to maybe have those tyres cool down, have a better opportunity in a few laps' time.
Right, exactly. You want a chance to fight again, because as I look at things here at our lap counter, boy, we're really, really close to the halfway point of this race.
Yeah, we certainly are close to this halfway stage. Lap 12 of 24 happening next time by. Barry Westow's made a move. He's up into position 19. He's got through on Robert Simpkins. Very well done, actually, after Macress. In fact, he did it down into Dunlop, an area which you don't often make those moves, but a very good move there. He just made sure that he kept that vehicle on the outside and paint by numbers overtake.
That's a good overtake by him there, getting by Simpkins. Finally he'd been working on that for a little bit. Finally gets it done. Barry still just trying to pick up spots. He struggled a little bit here early. Got caught up in some of the mess towards the back of the pack, but moving forward now. Maybe going to try and go catch Steve Sarles up there in 18th.
Yeah, certainly will do. 27 machine out on circuit, +5, up into 18th, having a quiet race, but a race that is getting him forward in terms of where he is right now. 3 seconds back is Barry West, and doing 1:48 lap time, so half a second quicker was Barry West over that last lap. And then you got Valamarki in the Scrapwood Blaze just in front of that as well, but that's 10 seconds down the road, so not many more positions I think that Salas can make up over the course of this event. But right now, Teemu Toika maybe starting to come under a bit of pressure there, excuse me, is he's got Steve Bycroft coming back into the battle in the number 9 machine, and Bycroft always there, always scoring very good results. And there's a big slide there, power drift from Teemu Toika in through NGK, and that's going to allow Bycroft to close that gap up a little bit more.
Yeah, Bycroft, one of the solid American drivers in this field every week. The Indiana man now getting that run here at Toika, going down into Yokohama. He's going to take it here, Jake. He couldn't get the car to turn. He couldn't get it to turn.
No, he was too much on that brake pedal, and that vehicle does not want to turn when you're on the brakes, and he almost duped himself there into trying to make that move, because he was alongside, wasn't able to get it fully alongside, dropped back, and then suddenly he found himself going forward and had Toika 90% in his view in front of him. That's a very scary sight, being indecisive as a driver. Yeah.
Toika having one of those moments we'd like to call maybe a Code Brown there for a moment.
Code Brown, yeah, certainly was. When you see in your side mirrors the vehicle's not working the way that you want to see it. But Morera right now, let's keep on this battle for position number 3, because he's caught back up to the very rear of Gernot Friche, into the right-hander then of Vorsteiner Curve. They go along again, and just unable to really hook up a run there is Nuno Morera. He needs something, a little bit of spark, a stick of dynamite maybe, to try and just propel himself forward a couple of tenths of a second, because it just seems that no matter how much he tries to get close, he just doesn't get the run. But this is the chance, because he gets a good run through NGK, now run through this final corner of Coca-Cola. Little slide is going to compromise the exit, but this is the chance soon. Sean, I've done it again.
A little more money in the jar. Nuno it really looking to take him down here. He goes wide here. Going to try and cross him over. Oh, Jake, the drag race is on.
Drag race is on around the outside, then at turn number 2. Gets the run with a better run off the exit there, Sean. And you have to feel Gernot Friche was an unforced error from the driver that is normally so accomplished at defending. He just ran too deep into turn 1, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, he probably saw Nuno come around towards the outside there, and then just kind of lost his mind for a moment.
Yeah, certainly did, but enough is enough for Nora Lampe. He set his fastest lap of the race so far, 43.6. and it's a 43.655. It's not the fastest lap of the event. That goes to Sergio Macias by just a couple of hundredths of a second, but it's enough to close that gap down by 0.3 of a second. Nora Lampi, I think, has understood enough's enough. I may be the championship leader. I may know that Macias is not in my CTC battle, but a race victory gets you so many more points.
Yeah, it really does. Juha certainly would be smart to get another victory. Pad those numbers as much as you can here early in the season. Life happens. You never know when you may have to miss an event or something, man. You take them while you can get them.
Exactly, and especially with Zandvoort coming up in 1 week's time, a circuit that is incredibly close in terms of barriers and incidents. You want to make sure that you are 100% ready for anything that happens out on circuit, because racing is always a lottery. You're always rolling a dice. Michiel Vandenberg, though, he's managed to catch back up to the driver of Matt Wood, and that's been good work from Michiel Vandenberg. He's been plugging away the lap times time and time again. 44.8 for Wood, 44.6 for Vandenberg. He brings the gap down 0.7 of a second now between them.
Yeah, and you know what? That is really good work, like you said there by Vandenberg, because Wood had started to pull away. And back when Vandenberg was still battling there with Toyka and Bycroft, and now that he was able to get out into the clean air for a little bit, he has been able to really mount a good charge here on Wood. Continues to do it here, and seems to just be picking up even more ground on this lap here, Jake.
Exactly, and the more ground, the better it seems to be from time to time, because if you can just keep applying that pressure, surely you hope that a mistake happens. Sometimes it doesn't, but it's the Senna-Prost effect from Monaco, and you know, you could even be 45 seconds back closing a driver down. You will always be applying some form of pressure on the driver that is situated just in front of you, and that goes all the way down the field. You look at the Blaise Valimaki battle that's still going on. Valimaki still hoping to find a way past Martin Blaise, the French-Canadian. You look to try and find any sort of way to apply that pressure. As long as the driver's in front of you, there's always an opportunity.
That's right, and Valimaki still, the Finns still trying to find out where that opportunity's at here. Blaise has had a decent drive. He's down 2, but here we go. Valimaki taking advantage of him here on a mistake.
Oh, yes, and it was just a twitch from Martin Blaise, but Blaise getting better top speed on the run down in towards Dunlop, but he's got to do it the long way around on the outside. He'll have to give that one up, though, and try and get a better run off of the exit. He'll try it up the Schumacher S's and in towards the next left-hander, but has to back out of it again because of that dirty air effect, and Martin Blaise dropping back then. So Valimaki up to 4 positions gained now, and Daniele Gattuso next up on the road for him. He's got to do something, because right now this is about the sticking point he's going to hit.
Boy, and what a great job by Valimaki there. He'd been working on that for a while, Jake. That battle had been going on for about half a dozen laps. It took a while to pull it off, but he's now out in front, and next marker, Gattuso, about we got about 4 seconds up the track.
Yeah, 4 seconds up the track, but it's 4 seconds to make up in about 10 laps. It's a very difficult challenge to make something like that a potential ability. I was just looking at Sergio Macias and the line he took into Dunlop's hairpin, and he ran very wide into the corner, but he managed to just point that nose and get that one back out again. But I have this feeling that Nora Lampi is trying everything to close down that gap. If he gets it within 1 second again, that is such a psychological advantage for him.
Yeah, it is. I hate to say he's running out of time, but he's running out of time, Jake. He's going to have to make a decision, do something quick here. Boy, Matt Wood really, really under threat now from Vandenberg. Vandenberg is really about as close as he's been here in a while. Coming up the straight.
Try and make this move then. Yes, and into the right-left. He's not able to make that move just now. And, well, Michiel Vandenberg hoping to find one mistake out of the driver of Matt Wood, who runs a little bit wide coming off the exit of the final corner, Coca-Cola. The run down into turn number 1 certainly is going to be the scary prospect that is going to have to be dealt with. On the brakes into the right-hander, and he's going to go very deep in. It's Michiel Vandenberg trying to scare Matt Wood off the circuit, but scaring's not working. It's not Halloween just yet. You've got 2 weeks till that.
Yeah, Vandenberg really, really torching the brakes on that Lotus. And he's still, though, that I'll tell you what, that run really helped him. I mean, he's been able to hang with Wood here through the Mercedes arena there, and boy, that was really good. He's still keeping pace. Watch out!
Oh, you can. Yeah, he's going to go for the outside line in towards the right-hander, and well, Matt Wood, he knows that he's under a lot of pressure here. Michael Vandenberg wants to make this move, and he wants to make it quickly, cleanly, and effectively, almost as if he just wants to try and take the top off of a carrot or something like that. He wants to make this move. Vandenberg up through the lefts and rights then of the Schumacher S's. If he gets a good run out of here, he may have a chance into this left-hander. 0.2 of a second, the gap between the pair of them, but still unable to really make it happen. But look at the wide line taken here. Opportunity knocks here, Sean.
It does. Really the best battle we've got on track right now, the way these two are going at it.
It is one of those best battles, but keep an eye on the leading battle, because that is 1.1 seconds now, and it's just on that edge where Nora Lampe's thinking about it. He closed 12 thousandths of a second that last time by. He's doing everything except the magic thing of making those moves. And those tyres, just looking at the track temperatures today, 34, they're almost ideal out on circuit. So 0.3 of a second drop off over the course of a stint. That's not bad for the pair of them right now.
No, it's really not. And I honestly would think it'd be a lot rougher than that. The way Juha has been getting on those brakes into these turns, you'd think he's just torturing those tires. But right now, they're really still showing incredible grip. And the times that they're turning is proof.
It is certainly proof. Still Vandenberg looks with Matt Wood just in front. The battle P7, P8 out on circuit, into the right, then they cut left, and now into the right they come along. And well, wide line again having to be taken by Vandenberg. He's trying to displace Matt Wood off that ideal racing line, but Wood will not budge.
Now, Wood's really determined to hold on to that spot that he has so masterfully earned to this point. Don't want to give back one of the two that you've earned here. Unlikely that he'll catch Ossian Puhaka, but he's not focused on that at all. He's just focused on taking care of the track in front of him right now. I doubt he's even looking out of the mirrors here at at Vandenberg.
And another big twitch from Nora Lampe in through the final corner. That gap surely will be opening up from 1.1. And the answer is yes, it will. 1.3, almost 1.4. It's a good lap from Nora Lampe, but Sergio Machias, 1:43.4, fastest lap. And that is how you kill any life from a battle.
That is a bit deflating if you're Juha Nora Lampe. You're watching your relative and you realize, I can't believe he just turned that lap.
Exactly. And sometimes it is the demoralizing factor that does kill the race for some drivers. And well, Nora Lampe, this is do or die for him. Does he give up the white flag, or does he say, I surrender or not? Hofera versus Puheka, though, that one's still going on, 0.7 of a second between them. And Puheka's been slowly reeling this one back in here for the final place inside the top 5. Puheka at one stage in this season was inside that top 5 here. Needs to get that very good result coming out from here.
Yeah, and Jared Hofer would be a good guy to get that result from. He, like you said, Ossian has been picking it up just a bit, getting a run out of here.
Close. He's really trying to get that run, and well, he's trying to set it up in towards the right-hander. He thinks about it down to the inside, but doesn't have enough momentum to carry it. But again, Hofera runs wide to the right-hander, can manage to salvage it through the left-hander, even salvage it through the right of Vorsteiner. And again, Puheka hoping that he can just use the draft to his advantage. Up the hill will always be more beneficial. And again, thinking about it, trying to weave behind, get your attention. Oh, hello, I'm here. Still unable to make this move. Needs a very good Coca-Cola curve. No, he doesn't. He's going to go straight on. He holds it. No, he doesn't. He's round.
Oh, car's coming through. Got to be careful here. There's Matt Wood, Vandenberg. He's going to get away. Let's go to the replay here. Just broke loose on him,
it's
Jake.
a high curb. Yeah, it's a high curb. It's what does it there out of that section. A high curb always makes it very difficult when you come out of that section. You don't want to be stuck up on two wheels at that section, but eyes on Nora Lampe. He just did a 43.1 here, Sean. My goodness. He took 0.6 of a second out of Macias. This is not done.
Don't count Nora Lampe out of anything. That is one determined individual right there.
Exactly, and well, you talk about how things happen, and again, the big wide line being taken at the right-hander by Sergio Macias, diamonding off the corner at that carousel-esque sort of section, a little bit wide from Nora Lampe up that section. You've got to be careful at the Schumacher-esque. Slow down penalties do apply if you get too far off the line at that section. Well, it seems he got away with one there, but he's now got to close that gap down. It's got to be within 0.3 of a second on the last lap to stand any form of opportunity here, Sean.
Well, 5 laps to go when they come around across the start-finish line. Matt Wood is,
Darrell Henry's off.
Matt Wood might lose his position to Vandenberg. Vandenberg, I think, has found the answer here. He's setting him up.
Yeah, he is setting him up. Just saw Darrell Henry off, just a slide out of the NGK chicane, nothing big, but still Matt Wood under a lot of pressure right now. Maybe a dive down to the inside. He thinks about it. The room being given as a slide, actually, from Matt Wood through the mid part of the apex, and thank you very much to Michel Vandenberg. He's trying to hold it, but look at the overspeed that's there for Matt Wood. My goodness me, he set this court vehicle up for high-speed setups, and well, Vandenberg going to be later on the brakes in towards the right-hander, hoping to make something happen, but Matt Wood, my goodness, he's got a lot underneath that vehicle.
He certainly does, able to power back and take his position back. Get to the Mercedes complex here, and boy, Matt Wood just throwing down the power there in his Lotus 79. And that's going to really make it impossible for Vandenberg to compete, as long as Matt can keep it in the gray.
Yeah, as long as it's in the grey, though, but that's going to be the question. Can he keep it in the grey? Nora Lampe, maybe his tyres going off again because he dropped 0.4 of a second in comparison to Sergio Macias on that last lap. Brings the gap back over 1 second, and well, 4 laps to go, and they cross the line. Macias hoping just to stave off the challenge of Juha Nora Lampe, who has been so good all season long, up the hill towards NGK, and again, it looks like Sergio Macias has been saving those tyres well. It was a very good short burst from Nora Lampe. He worried Macias when it came down under a second, but Macias undeterred and did not make a mistake otherwise.
Well, Macias has certainly been impressive. The battles behind him have been impressive, though, too. And Matt Wood and Vandenberg, we talked about that. Bycroft and Teemu Toika still has an outside chance maybe here to get one position away. Bycroft really close to maybe picking up a slowdown penalty there as he came through, but he's still under power and looks like he's going full speed, so that's not the case. It is those slowdown penalties. It's certainly easy to pick up down there in turns 14 and 15, that left-right complex there. You cut that thing off, you're in trouble.
Certainly do, but of course Bycroft went through over 2 laps ago. Behind that, Pablo Lumbreras versus Clear Hughes going on, the Welshman against the Spaniard here out on circuit. And well, the 10 machine holding on to things right now in comparison to 15, doing a good job. Eyes though to the race leader, and Nora Lampe, it doesn't matter how you look at it, he's dropping back on this lap. He did a 43.3 compared to the 43.6, but Macias has been so consistent over the last 4 laps. 43.4, 43.7, 43.6, 43.6. It's been up and down from Nora Lampe, and he's got to hope that he finds a lot more lap times which are more attested to the 43.1s that he was doing earlier.
Time to find a little lightning in a bottle here. He's going to need it. Running out of time. I want to be the master of the obvious, but find another great lap. Find 3 great laps, Juha, and this race is yours.
Well, there's a bit of traffic in front, so Francisco Javier will get out of the way, but Now Robert Simpkins will have to dive out of the way of the leaders, and probably will do very well at the earliest convenience to everybody else in this field. And well, he runs wide through turn number 2. At turn 3, he'll just stay on the outside. He thought about turning in, but decided against it. Now, if he was clever, he'd sit on the brakes, and Nora Lampe will have to go around the outside at turn 4, and that's going to really compromise his run there. And I think that is off to the races, Sergio Macias after that.
Yeah, whenever you have to change your line like that, man, you're definitely gonna lose just fractions of time. But with this battle and the way it's been, those fractions mean just a whole lot. With now only about 2.5 laps left.
2.5 laps to go, and I think it's going to be no chance. And where has Pablo Longueras gone? He's gone miles down the road from Hlea Hughes. So Hlea Hughes, a 51.9 that last time by. Big error on his part, and that was down at Vidal NGK, and he got himself into the right-hander. Just completely lost it on entry, Sean.
Oh, we picked up a replay of it here. Let's look. Yeah, he does. He's going to lose. He just misses it.
Ever so slightly. It's such a pernickety corner when you get right down to it, the way that it works, Sean, because you're always hoping that you can get that vehicle turned in, but sometimes it just doesn't work for you.
Yeah, and obviously you're slowing down a little bit to get through there, not a whole lot, and he just misses it. Tough break and loses that time, and what was a great battle, and may have to settle for 12th where he's at. It's going to be really hard to catch anybody at this point. John Stevens a whole 14.5 seconds behind him, so
Vandenberg hoping to try and make a move here on Matt Wood, and he is through on Matt Wood, so he's already made it, and there's traffic as well in front of them trying to stay out of the way. Darrell Henry, but the overspeed is there again from Wood on the brakes, though Vandenberg's going to sling one down to the inside. Little bit of contact rear to front, but they just managed to hold it, and around the outside now, Vandenberg is going to have to try and make it happen. He's got the better vehicle for the setup of the corners, like this arena section. Got to do it around the outside again at turn number 3, inside line for turn number 4. Take your hat off there. Vandenberg has done very well to make that move.
Yeah, now he's got to hang on to it. Look, Wood already showing speed. Looks to the inside, then backs out.
But you can see how much more speed that Vandenberg can carry through the corners. Runs wide on the exit, though, and that's going to bring back into play Matt Wood. And Wood's going to have so much more than Vandenberg on the run to Dunlop. And I think this one's going to be plain sailing if he's not too careful. Just can't make it happen on the inside apex.
Boy, these two so close to each other right now. Got to be careful here. You'll take the white flag next time by. Don't end this race by making just a stupid mistake.
Exactly. Nora Lampe making a mistake then. That's a turn, that's a spin on the final lap. He was 1.4 back from Sergio Macias, but that all but secures the race victory. He gets caught up on the curb, and it's a lazy turn around, and he's very unfortunate in that matter of fact. He lets through Nuno Moreira, actually, into position number 2 overall. That's crucial for Moreira's championship hopes in the CTC. Mistakes like that for Juha Nora Lampe could cost him between now and the end of this season. But looking back to Vandenberg, he's pulling away right now from Matt Wood. Wood will close that gap down with his superior overspeed in comparison to Vandenberg, who's got a very slow top speed setup, but very well suited to the corners. It almost reminds you of GT3 and a BMW versus a McLaren right now, and the fact that the Z4 is very slow on a straight, but amazingly worked in a corner. But Bycroft behind that in a big scrap with Teemu Toika. This is for the final 2 spots inside of the top 10, but right now you have to feel Toika's got to search for a way past the Bycroft driver in the number 9, and runs very wide through turn number 4. That's not going to do any favours for the man in the 13 machine. He's got to hope that there is going to be another opportunity or a mistake from Bycroft somewhere in the final half of this lap. But focus to the driver in the number 2 machine, because he's got a couple of corners left to go before he ends this race with yet another race victory. And Sergio Macias, well, he there's no other way of saying it. He just consistently beat Nora Lampe into defeat. It doesn't matter how quick you can be over one lap, you've got to do it consistently. Mr. Consistency does it again. Sergio Macias wins here at the Nürburgring and wins in dominating fashion. Morera comes home in second, and Juha Nora Lampe, what could have been in position number 3 overall. We'll look further back because of the fact that Toika's got a run here, Sean.
And Journo just getting that 4th place spot. Journo almost getting it from him.
Here comes Toika. He's looking for the inside. He had to do it on the final lap. But look at how wide the driver of Bycroft's going to go. Mistake. And thank you, says Toika. Position 9 is mine.
Wow.
Oh, come on. You can offer more than that.
No. Hey, job well done. Job well done.
Job well done indeed. That was a beautiful move that we saw there in the final stages. Martin Blaise will be the last driver to come across the line. He has dropped back in the second half of this event. Valimaki, though, he's caught back up to Daniele Gattuso, but I think it's too little too late here, Sean.
Yeah, you're very well right. It might be too little too late.
Just, it seems that way. Valimaki looking for the left-right of NGK, hoping for a mistake out of the Italian driver. It's not forthcoming. So, or is it though? He goes very deep in on the brakes into the final corner, but again, not forthcoming. So Daniele Gattuso will hold on to it just for the time being. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step aside for one moment. When we come back, what I like to call the post-race show here on the Global Sim Racing channel after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the global sim racing channel, The Fallout, after the Lotus 79s here from the circuit of the Nürburgring. This is how it finished, though, and it was an easy pickings day for Sergio Macias. Another win, this time 5.6 seconds, but it was a lot more difficult than it looks like on paper. Nuno Moreira finishes home in second position, but Juha Noralampi was challenging for the win up until the penultimate lap, where he spun it and eventually finishes position number 3. Jerno Friche, welcome back, position number 4. Jed Hofera will finish in 5th ahead of Usian Puheka in 6th position. Michel Vandenberg will finish in 7th ahead of Matt Wood, who beats Timu Toika, making a move on the final lap against Steve Barcroft.
Yes, and then we'll go back to the second 10 here. 11th, Pablo Suarez up to get that spot today. Lear Hughes, 12th. John Stevens there in 13th. Victor Abelan had his share of trouble, but still salvages a 14th place finish. Daniele Gattuso, that is a 15th place finish for him. He was up 6, Jake. And 16th going to go to Sammy Valimaki there, and he was up 4. Barry West, 17th. Martin Blaze struggled just a bit. Had some good battles, but it's going to fall short today. 18th for him. Steve Sarles, 19th. And Robert Simpkins, the New Jersey driver, in 20th.
Spin today for Darrell Hendry means that he finishes Blackjack 21. And then the vehicle's multiple laps down. Francisco Javier Gutierrez in 22nd. QC Clapp, bad day at the office for him in 23rd. And then you got John Keefe, Marco Kika up on his roll bar. Flavio Saturnino, and the driver who didn't make the start today, Thierry van der Hagen, is that driver. But of course, post-race interview time, and a lot of drivers here wanting a lot of conversation. And well, first and foremost, we'll talk with the driver who, for no better love nor money right now here, Juha, had the one moment with 2 laps to go. It looked like you definitely had the 1 lap pace to beat Sergio Macias. Maybe the consistency value wasn't quite there today.
Thanks, Jake. Yes, it was the case, but I'm very glad that I managed to get this podium from this race, because I didn't actually practice a lot this week, and I'm lacking a little bit motivation now, because I'm getting much better health, and I have something else to do now in my life.
Well, that always is the big juggle that you have between your health and, of course, the way that you are sim racing. And sometimes it means that more things take up more time. And, well, you know, you were in that battle for a long time with Sergio Macias. You're always in and around that 1 second window. But when you know there's that carrot on a stick in front of you and you can't necessarily jump forward, make that position yours, you know, what puts you in that situation to really, you know, get yourself forward in that sort of sense? What drives you to bring that gap back down to under a second?
Well, I noticed at the last race that Sergio had a very good top speed, and I think he had a 4 kilometers more top speed than I had, and I'm very amazed at how can Sergio make those setups so brilliant. He's a master with those setups, and I must take my hat off and congratulate and honor him very much, because I thought that I have also very good setup for this track. But well, yes, I could manage to get few times under 1 second, but there was a terrible lack of downforce after that when we go those fast turns, and 2 times when I was 0.7, 0.6 behind him, I got this what do you call that penalty when I just cut the curb from that Michael Schumacher's SEs, and I just had to let go, and well, I just know that even if I could catch him, and even if I could be at his rear, I couldn't overtake him without his mistake. And as you saw, I made mistakes, but he didn't, and that was because I lack concentration and lack not concentration, but lack practice and lack this consistency. But I'm very, very pleased. But it would have been better because if the last mistake wasn't there, but Nuno get me past. This is not good. But well, it's good luck for Nuno.
Certainly can be, but of course, you put yourself in a situation now. You're still leading the CTC, heading into Zandvoort next week, a circuit that is very similar in some respects to Nürburgring, especially in the fact that it can be very narrow and any mistake will certainly be punished. But Zandvoort, always a driver's circuit. So, is it your favourite? Is it one that maybe suits your driving style a little bit more? We know how close you were today with Sergio Macias. It was looking like you were struggling more than usual.
Yeah, and Zandvoort, I think it's going to be very good for me if I can make myself a little bit more practice. But as I say earlier, I'm in very good shape now, and I think this is some kind of a miracle from God, because I can walk now. I can make 5 kilometers walking exercises, and my health is getting better and better and better every day, and this is continued now for a little over 1 month, and I'm so happy that perhaps I just don't know if I can spend so much time anymore here at iRacing, but let's see. But anyway, let's see what is coming next week.
We certainly will see what is coming next week. So before we let you go, Juha, shout out sponsors, anyone you'd like to thank?
Well, I only have one sponsor, if you can call him. It's my God, and I thank him for everything that I have and what I can do now. And I thank every one who is making effort here at these CTC championship races, and my teammate also, I want to thank him, QC Clapp, and he's the one that has been pushing me forward, because he's the one that has experienced a miracle as well. He has been CF chronic fatigue syndrome patient when he was younger, and he is now well, and that has been motivating me to push forward and pray God to make me one of his miracles too. So God bless you, and thank you, and bye bye.
No worries at all then. Juha Noralampi joining us then, and coming home third place overall in the event. And Sean, you found the man who finished second overall, and his name is Nuno Moreira.
Nuno Moreira, I have one question for you here to get things started. What happened in qualifying, buddy?
Hello, guys. Hope you can hear me well. Hey, I missed the second lap, so I overdrove it, and I had a good shot to the win. I don't know, to the podium today. I had a good car, but I really messed up in the qualifying. So just one lap, and everybody is so fast and so close that I paid the price. So I had a P8 as a starting grid, and it was tough.
It really was. This is a really, really tough race here at this circuit. What makes this circuit so challenging?
Well, I have a very good opinion about this circuit. I think it's the most complete circuit that we have in the service, so in our racing. So it is a combination of everything. So you really have to be a very good racer overall here to run fast, and we all are. So as we can see from the racing and from the pace that the guys had. So I really enjoyed the venue and the circuit. I would run here like 2 or 3 times a season, no problem at all.
So basically, if you had got that qualifying sorted out, you probably could have given a really, really good fight to Sergio and to Juha, for that matter.
Yeah, Juha was also fast, but I was targeting Sergio. You are not saying anything against you. I know that you were very, very fast today, but yeah, my target is Sergio right now, and I was happy to get into P2, so I I don't lose too much points to that guy, but I know that the tides will turn, and I know that I'm improving to the point that I might give a real run for the money to Sergio, and he's behaving brilliantly, driving awesome, 100%, 120%, I guess, and it is an awesome challenge to try to catch up to that guy.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're already looking forward to next week, and I'm sure you are too. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Well, no, just my family for giving me the time to run. That's all. And having such a fun Sunday afternoons. That's all. And of course, to everyone in the Lotus 79, all the drivers that come and join us in these awesome races. I think those are the guys that make everything possible here.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, great chatting with you. We will catch you again next week. Nuno Moreira, our second place finisher today. And Jake, I think you've caught up with Teemu Toika, who was out there fighting pretty well today.
I have, and it's quick fire interviews here. Teemu, P number 9, I do believe it is for you, and a good move on the final lap.
Yeah, it's just a pretty broken race for me. I had a good qualifying and then just made a lot of small mistakes throughout the race, and luckily I was able to salvage the race in the last turn with the overtake to Steve, but I don't know if the left car was distracting him or something, because I just got such a good run through the last chicane and just got there.
Well, a fantastic move for you, but of course, in a week's time, we're heading to Zandvoort, very similar in nature, so those small mistakes, maybe you have a chance to rectify them for next week?
I hope I get a chance to at least practice something a bit more, and then I don't know. I think I ran a bit too high wings this week, so I don't know if I should make some changes to my setup making or something, but we'll see.
We certainly will see then. Teemu Toika joining us then after a P9 finish. And Sean, we'll continue with the final quickfire interview. You've got Mr. Barry West.
Barry West, boy, this was a good race out there today. A little bit of a struggle for you, though, and you do finish one spot up in 17th. What was it like out there?
Yeah, it was a hard race. Unfortunately, the start always dictates the race here. I mean, people, whether they just don't respect the lines and the corners and the first couple of corners, because they're really tricky. And to go random fast, you've got to stay on the racing line. Of course, at the start of the race, everybody wants to go as fast as they can, so they don't ignore the line. I was down the inside into turn 1, and who was it? Checked up. Martin Blaise checked up because the car's virtually stopped on the inside, which I was expecting, and I slowed down and stopped, but not soon enough, and just lifted Martin in the air, gave myself a little bit of right hand front wing damage, which hurt me then all the race. And then I think it was on the second lap, I was lining up the car in front for a pass. I think it was Sammy, and OC didn't judge the apex speed and went for the apex, and I just went a bit wide and he caught me inside. Of course, it spun us round, and I think we went back to last place, and then of course I got stuck in neutral. I couldn't get it into first gear, so I was stuck there for another, I think it cost me 20 seconds to get going. So then it was just a recovery drive all the way through, and I did well really to get back where I was, I think. I think realistically, if I hadn't have had the incident with OC, which we've talked about, and it's just one of those things, he's apologised. But I think I would have probably been realistically chasing John Stevens in 13th, no 12th, 13th he finished. So that was realistically what my pace would have been. But still, only 3 places further back than that. A few more laps, and I think I might have caught up Sammy and Danielle. But it was a really good race all in all, I suppose. It's a pity about the incident.
Well, you'll be back to get him next week at Zandvoort. We appreciate the time, bud.
I certainly will. I love Zandvoort, and I'll try and give Timo another run for his money next week.
Oh, well, then we'll definitely keep an eye on that. All right, and that was Barry West.
Yeah, it certainly was. And, well, unfortunately, we are on a bit of a tight schedule here at GSRC, so that's all we're going to have time for on this early afternoon. We must also offer our thanks to all of you who've been watching the action here this afternoon, and to all the drivers and teams of the Classic Teams Championship for their stunning battles and their decision to fly GSRC. Thank yous also have to go out to the companies, equipment and software that have been involved or affiliated with this afternoon's broadcast. And of course, we'd also like to thank Eric Ekholm and Katie Lalonde for the music that you have heard this afternoon. Details of how to contact them are on screen right now. And speaking of contact, if you are wishing to have your series broadcast or want to find out when the next dose of sim racing action or otherwise is live, pop over to globalsimracingchannel.com or check us up on social media with the Twitter handle @GSR Channel, or catch us on Facebook as the Global Sim Racing Channel. It's off to the land of the Dutch this next week, as Zandvoort will be our home of operations, but as always, that has been Sean Crackers Ambrose, that has been Amjad Yamin, that has also been the man who some say decided to take a knee once upon a time, but he took a knee from a prosthetic limb shop. That's Dougie Beard. I have been #Do You Mind Jake Sperry, and as always, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.